Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Build 2025. As she has mentioned, my name is Halimah Balogun, and I'm a product manager, also a public speaker. Um, slide. So today I'll be talking to us about revenue. For the most part, a lot of us are in tech because we want to make money. Yes, I get that everybody wants to build something cool, something innovative. Everybody wants to solve problems. But you agree with me that at the end of the day, you still want to make tech money, right? They say tech money is oil money, and you definitely want to make it. So I'll be talking to us today about revenue and how to monetize your product. So yesterday, while I was just rounding up my slide, I saw this very funny TikTok video, and I thought to share with you guys to just. Basically, the usual involve me trend, because why not? When you're in the midst of everybody and this founder has made billions, this one has millions and things like that, you want to be involved. So today, I am going to be involving us on how to, be able to um, have conversations in that circle as well. When tech founders are talking about their billions, their millions, we are also going to be involved in this strategy that I'm about to give us. I'm really sad that the video did not play, or we didn't hear the sound. Anyways, don't worry. So, one thing I've heard before, okay, no? Okay, yes. One thing I've heard before is startup founders they cannot build something that does not work. They have to build something that works because they don't have the ability to, go broke, right? So, as somebody that has worked closely with bootstrap founders and even been one myself, when you talk about bootstrap startup, it's a whole lot. Today you are thinking about, okay, should we use this 50,000 naira for marketing? Tomorrow is, okay, maybe we just need to buy data. Because nobody is funding you. There's no external investor anywhere. It is just you and the team. And one thing I also realized is bootstrapping is like a treadmill that you are on that you didn't ask to be on. And on the treadmill, you cannot come down and you cannot slow down. You have to keep up the momentum, because trust me, you have the customer that you are building for. You also have a market that is unforgiving, because the market is ever changing. Today, some users want this, tomorrow there's another thing in the market. Just as we know now, AI is everywhere. So everybody is basically infusing AI into their product. So you don't have that luxury of time as a bootstrap founder. So bootstrapping is a very, very major issue. And so, sorry, that's an issue. Having revenue or being able to monetize your product as a bootstrap founder is a key thing to look into. So moving forward, I would say, okay, with my experience as well, I mentioned that I've worked closely with a bootstrap founder. So we built an edtech platform. It was very innovative. Students loved it. It was basically them using AI as well to help them. And one thing we didn't do while we were building was think about monetization, think about revenue. But we just wanted to build. We just wanted people to, see the next innovative thing in town. And we did. As a product manager, I carry out user research on a regular basis. Every time I carry out user research, everybody is like, oh yes, they love the product, it's really solving their problem, they are happy to use the product. But guess what? Nobody was willing to pay, or nobody was willing to pay the amount, because our target audience were students. And again, I kept on questioning, but if people say you like this product, people say you solve your problem, you're able to do assignments well. People even say they are able to, do better in exams, in tests. So what exactly is the problem? Why are you people not paying? Then that's when I now realized again that, SIBA, as a startup, revenue is not about what people need. It is about what they can pay for. Users can need this and that, but can they pay for it? And you as a founder, this is one thing, or a team generally, a development team, this is something you want to properly look into before you actually launch your product. So why revenue first matter? I'll tell you for a fact, like I said earlier, bootstrap founders don't have luxury. There's no investor somewhere saying, oh, this is a $200,000 for a runway extension. There's no angel investor anywhere. It is just you and your team. And so there's no luxury of time. There are customers they are attending to, or there are customers they are attending to their need. There is the market, as I mentioned earlier. So all of these things just made me realize that revenue is not a milestone. It is a survivor, to be very honest. And being bootstrapped does not mean it's slow. It doesn't mean you are disadvantaged. It just simply means that it is very, very scrappy, creative, and unstoppable. If you are bootstrapped, it doesn't mean that you should see it as a chance of being disadvantaged. Oh, these other people have investors, but we don't know. But it's a chance for you to show, and you and your team to show how creative, unstoppable, and scrappy it can be. So now let's look into some strategies like I mentioned earlier. Number one, start with value, not feature. Before revenue, there must be value. Not the value you are offering, but the value the customers feel immediately. I said this earlier. You're not doing what you think you're offering, what you think people like, but instead, if you want to get that revenue, you are going to give the customers the value that they will feel immediately. I have two images here. Notion and Calendly. We all know Notion, right? Notion is that product that started as just a simple task tool product, right? But eventually they evolved, and instead of even saying, oh, they are this workspace tool or AI tool, they just made it simple. They solved people's problem. People saw it, they adopted it, they love it, and now people are actually paying for Notion. You agree with me? There's also Calendly. Calendly is even a Nigerian founder, Tope Adetono. When he saw the problem, it was the whole back and forth email scheduling. Of course, he saw the problem and immediately solved it. And people again were able to, resonate with it, and they were also able to pay for it, right? So for revenue, before your features, you want to think, what value am I giving to these users? What value am I giving them that other products have not given them in a while, right? So you want to make sure that, like I said, it's the value your customers feel immediately and not what you think. I always tell people something. You don't think for your users. You hear from them and know what exactly they want, including their values. Next, so mistakes bootstraps startup make, speaking from experience. Number one, building too much before charging. I mentioned earlier, we built this product, we kept on adding new features, and we didn't think about charging. We didn't think about monetization. It was later we talked about it, and then by that time, it was already like so much headache for us. Thinking revenue will come after launch. This is, directly related to the first one, because we thought, oh, people will love this. It's really helping people. It's a new thing in town, so they will definitely pay. Trust me, users would, if they can get something for free, to be honest, if somebody wants to give you something for free now and somebody wants you to pay for it, are you not going to go for the free one? Because, who does not like free things? So you don't just think, oh, they will pay when we launch. They don't have any option. Trust me, users have options. They will definitely go for the cheaper or no money product. So you want to think revenue before launching, like before even thinking of launching at all. In your development stage, you want to think about launching. Being shy to sell. This is one of my favorite things, because I realized that founders-led marketing is a thing, or you and your team. Like, you don't be shy to sell your product. Carry your product on your head like gala. Let everybody know what you are doing, what you are bringing to the table. That way, you're going to be able to make money. So you're not just sitting there and thinking, yes, we built the new thing, no problem, everybody will come around. No, carry it on your head like gala and hawk it around. Trust me, you're going to be able to sell. We see these things happening. It's not only about just digital products, even physical products. You see how people carry their business on their head. For example, WhatsApp business seller. Every day you wake up, you are posting on your WhatsApp back to back. I'm selling this. Others are open. It's time for it. Because you don't have to be shy to sell. You want to make sure to sell your product and make sure that it reaches people, and that way revenue start coming in. Then over-engineering instead of validating. You have not validated your hypothesis, but you keep on building. You keep on adding new development team. Oh, we need a new backend developer. We need this, we need that. You just keep on building and building without validating. This is also not good. This is a very, very big mistake that bootstrap founder make. Sometimes you just want to validate your assumption with your MVP and then see what it is like. See how the users experience it. See how much they are willing to pay for it, how much they are willing to use it, things like that. So you are not just building and building. You are over-engineering, you are wasting time, you are wasting resources, you are wasting everything, every other thing. So you want to make sure not to over-engineer your product. Instead, you validate it. And then lastly, trying to serve everyone. Trust me, you cannot serve everybody. You need to be able to know, this is my target audience. This is the people I want to focus on. And that's why in product management, it's very important to have your user research and know your target audience. Who are the people I want to serve? Who are the people I'm building? You can't build for everybody, let's be very honest. Other people will be catered for by another product. But you see, you want to make sure to see who your own target audience is. What are their demography? What are their psychography? Where are they? What do they like to do? Are they high income earner or low income earner and stuff like that? sorry, are they high income earner or low income earner? Are they even able to afford? Because if you are building for a target audience that cannot afford your product, maybe you are doing like a 10,000 subscription per month for students. Trust me, like that is a very like big mistake because these people, I mean, they don't necessarily have the luxury to spend 10,000 naira on a monthly subscription, right? So you want to make sure to build for your target audience and not try to serve everybody as a whole. So up next now, let's look at some low-cost, high-impact monetization strategies that I've brought today. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be involving us so that next time you're in that gathering, you are also going to know the deal. So I have 5 strategies here. First is pre-sell the solution before building. Start with services, then transition into product. Create a simple quick to sell MVP. Use the painkiller pricing strategy and create multiple micro revenue streams early. So let's take it from the first one, which is pre-selling the solution before building it. So I mentioned earlier, like you see WhatsApp seller, not even WhatsApp seller. There are so many people today that they do pre-order, right? They don't have any zero inventory. They don't have anything in their what's it called? They don't have anything in their catalog or anything. But then you pay and then they get the goods for you, right? So nobody is on the loss, right? And they are making their money like that. So this is one of like the smartest ask for your early revenue as a founder or as a bootstrap founder. No pre-selling before you actually have the solution. How can you do this? Number one, start with irresistible promise. Like sweet talk people, like not just sweet talk, but actually delivering what you've promised, right? You see how people will tell you, pre-order people, right? They tell you, oh, don't worry, to come as it is, you are going to get what it is, it's not going to be what the other person what to deliver, and you make sure that when you get this thing, you see that actually they were through, right? Because they were able to sell you with an irresistible promise, right? Offer early bird pricing, rather. So you want to say, okay, I'm sure we've seen a lot of things like that. People that are wanting to launch and they say, oh, for early bird, you pay this, or maybe even ticketing. They say, oh, early bird is 5,000 naira, but I mean, late registration is like 10,000 naira. So I mean, people that already went to the early bird, they save extra 5,000 naira in their pocket, right? So as a founder, you want to take a look at early bird pricing model. Also, you want to deliver transparency because why not? You have to be transparent in all of your dealings. And lastly, then you now build alongside your paying customers. Now, using the WhatsApp sellers as example, or Instagram sellers, or pre-order sellers as a whole, when they start getting paying customers, the money they put together and then they can now start having actual inventory in their catalog, right? And that way, so you see at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everybody. They didn't need to build something or have to go and borrow money from somewhere before they start something. They started with the pre-order, they were getting paying customers, and at the end of the day, the money, the revenue they got from these paying customers, they were not able to buy actual products in their market, so that, I mean, their catalog, so that people can actually now see. So the first thing, like I said, is pre-sell the solution before building. You can do this, I mean, digitally, build a landing page, like I said, early bird offer, like I said, a demo video. We all know Dropbox is one great example I always say. Dropbox, when they started, they didn't have a product. All they did was just a demo video, posted it online, and millions of people signed up. They had millions of emails. And we all know where Dropbox is today, right? So you don't have to build something before selling. Pre-sell the solution before building. The next is start with services, then transition into products. This is also something that is also a strategy that I really resonate with. So I was working with an investment platform as a product manager, but then we didn't just start building. People had already been investing, we had already been doing small, investments here and there, just phone call, just WhatsApp group. Sorry, nothing serious, just WhatsApp group, phone calls, messages here and there, no tech solution, no, and then the money was coming in. So it was afterwards we now decided, okay, now we can build a simple web page for web app for this. Not even a website, not even a full, pledge app. It was just a web app that we started to even build again. But we didn't just build, we started with our services first, right? To just make sure, like, okay, do people resonate with this? It was ethical investment. So, how will people resonate with Islamic investment? Not like the usual investment that you see. So we started, just investing with people on WhatsApp. Everybody would drop their updates. When it's time for your return, you just put your phone account number. There's somebody in charge to send money to you. But then later on, we now decided, okay, there are people already in this platform, so why not build a solution? And even while building a solution, we did not decide, okay, we're ready for a mobile app now, like Alvest and things like that. We decided, or Carry-wise, we started, let us build a web app and just start with. So this is just so that you can start services, then transition into products. You don't have to write a line of code to be able to get your revenue. And this is what happened with this ethical investment. We're already earning and we didn't write a single line of code. We started writing code after we were making money. A very great example also is Mailchimp. I think we all know Mailchimp, right? Email platform. They started as a design agency, right? And then it was the revenue they got from that design agency. They now decided to build the email platform we know now, which is Mailchimp. So start with services, then transition into products. Because another reason is why this will work is because number one, you get paid while validating. I mean, you are still validating your assumption, but you're getting paid, right? You're also going to be solving your customer's pain point directly because you're going to be hearing from them. You're also going to build your reputation earlier. And then lastly, you don't need any technical infrastructure here because you're not going to write a single line of code. It's just you, your automation, maybe just like a WhatsApp, Google Sheets, Google Form here and there. Nothing too serious, but then you are still making your money. So start with services, then transition into products. Up next is create a simple, quick to sell MVP. Your MVP does not have to be something fancy, something perfect. Like I said, going back to number two, the investment platform. Our MVP was just a web app. We didn't say, oh, we're making money, let's now build a mobile app and things like that. We just started to keep it simple and just build a web app first and see how it is like, right? Because again, your MVP will require less effort, less time and things like that. So it's just much better to build your MVP. A lot of products today that we're using started with MVP. A very great example is Facebook. Facebook started as the Facebook, not even Facebook, it was called the Facebook. And it was just a group of students that were sending messages in their college classroom. And now today we can see what Facebook is like. Apart from Facebook being Facebook, there's a lot of features there. The way Facebook was created, it was only messages you could send. But now you can do things. There's even Facebook Market. You can make money off Facebook. Imagine if they just didn't start when they started, right? There's another great example, like I said earlier, is Dropbox. Like I said, Dropbox didn't have anything. They just had a demo video shared with everybody and people resonated with it. Another great example is Twitter. We've seen how Twitter has evolved over the years. Twitter was not even called Twitter before. It was TWTTR, then Twitter, now X. And you can see how much money Twitter is making and how much money people are making from Twitter now at the end of the day. So like you want to create a simple, quick to build MVP so that this will also generate revenue earlier and that way you can validate your assumption and now build further. Then next, use the painkiller pricing strategy. So one thing is you want to start with painkiller, not vitamin C. I mean, if you have headache today, you're not going to use vitamin C, even though it's sweet. The most you will just grumble. For me, I don't like drugs. I dislike using drugs. But if I have headache or anything, the first thing I'm going to think about is painkiller. Of course, there's vitamin C, there is sweet, but will it solve my problem? No, exactly. So I would rather just use the paracetamol like that. So you as a founder or in a development team, you want to use the painkiller pricing strategy where you know that people pay for only relief. Painkiller is a relief, right? Vitamin C is there for the admiration, right? Oh, it's sweet. It even looks really nice, right? So, but then your painkiller, your paracetamol is white. It's very bitter. For people like me that don't like bitter stuff, we are arch enemies. But then you want to also just be relieved at that moment. All you're thinking about is your headache, right? So you want to be relieved. And vitamin C will not do anything, rather paracetamol. So you want to have these things. And one thing I realized is people don't pay for nice to have things. People don't pay for things that they can get every other place. They pay for things that will solve their problem, that will relieve them. So you as a founder, you want to have or use the painkiller pricing strategy, like I said. If your product has as a painkiller, people will definitely pay for it. Great example is Slack. People pay for Slack because it removes all the communication chaos. There's also Piggyverse. People were not trusting traditional banks for their savings, and also some people did not really like the idea of Ajo. Some people's Ajo money were, looted or carried away. So then Piggyverse came up with a solution, and now you see Piggyverse is widely and spreadly used across, the country, right? So using the painkiller strategy, you are able to also make revenue as a founder, a bootstrap founder, or a tech team in general. Then lastly, create multiple micro revenue streams early. So I remember I told you about the platform I was working with, and we had this great product, and we just built, and only a few percentage were willing to pay. One thing that we were able to do was create multiple micro revenue, which means don't just have one stream, like you as a person now, you shouldn't have one stream of income, right? So your product too, maybe not think of one stream of income for it. There are different type of revenue streams. It could be subscription based, like monthly subscription. It could be feature based, so people will pay for, there will be free version, then people will pay for premium version and feature. It could be what else? Affiliate, tech affiliate, maybe like you are in conjunction with another product. It could even be workshops. Sometimes some people actually, you can actually teach people what your product does and you get paid or people pay for it. It's just like, let me see, the Coco moonshots and things like that. People go to their events and pay for it, right? You see that? So that's a way of them making money as well, apart from the other multiple streams that they have. So you can create multiple revenue streams early as well. So let's take a look at some success stories. I mentioned Mailchimp already. They started as a design agency, but now they made the money and then they now have like a full email platform that everybody uses, right? Then there's also WhatsApp, Instagram. Instagram, when it started, had no revenue. It was just something cool that they built for people to share pictures, videos. But now they make most of their revenue from advertisement. There's also Zoho, and then there's also Paystack. I mean, we all know Paystack, right? Nigerian products, transaction fast and reliable. They got money from transaction fee, and then the rest is history today, right? They were initially bootstrapped, and today, I mean, they were. We all know the story of Paystack, right? They got funding. I mean, they were acquired by Stripe and things like that, and we all see where Stripe and Paystack is today. So these are like some successful products that we can take a look at to see how being bootstrapped came and now how they've turned to be something really, really big. So moving on, let me just give us some key monetization lessons for bootstrap startup. These are some truths I want every founder. I believe everybody here is a founder. You might not be today, it might be tomorrow. It might not be a tech product, it might be a digital, it may be a physical product, but everybody is a founder, or everybody has the ability to be a founder, or regardless the old tech team as a whole. Your product is only a business if money comes in. Everything else is creativity. Like, there's really nothing you want to say about it. If there's no money, you are just having like a very expensive hobby. If you are not making money, you are just making yourself happy with your hobby. Every other thing is creativity. Your business, your product is only a business when eventually you start to make money. Your audience must be willing and able to pay. These two conditions matter equally. I can give an example of the student that we're building for. Some of them were willing to pay. I would have paid. I really loved it. But could they pay? No. So it was a thing of you have to be willing, and your product or your target audience rather, have to be willing and able to pay. These two conditions, they matter equally. You cannot just have people that, they are willing to pay. Willingness to pay does not mean they will pay, and which means zero revenue for you, right? Then monetization should start before development, not after launch. Like I mentioned earlier, with my experience as well, you don't just start monetization after you've launched. It has to be something you put into consideration during your development space, or even during the time where your product manager is, fleshing out all of the business requirements and technical requirements and product requirements in general. And if you have a business analyst as well, it depends on how large your team is. These are things you want to look into. How do you want to make money? What are the strategies that want you to make money? Is it just one? Are we doing a feature-based pricing? Are we doing subscription pricing? Are we doing transaction per fee like most fintech? Right, you want to take a look at this. Our target audience, are they able to afford subscription-based pricing strategy? Or is it feature-based? Do we have to give them like basic needs? Then the other wants to be premium, like we see platforms like Twitter. So these are things you want to put into consideration during or before development and not after launch. Then lastly, simplicity wins, clarity wins, speed wins. And then lastly, revenue is the cheapest form of funding. I mean, we don't know now that funding is not like very, very easy to come back again. So your revenue is definitely the easiest cheap of funding for you. So quickly, a simple, repeatable framework. Number one, you want to identify the pain, right? Demand, like I said. Pre-sale, like I said earlier. Like I said, start with irresistible promise, give like early bird pricing, be very transparent with your roadmap and your delivery, and create demo videos so people can see what you're about. Build tiny MVP. I gave an example how you don't need to build a mobile app. You can just start with a web app and see how things go. Charge early, like you don't want to wait. Like I've been saying, you don't want to wait till after launch or later on. Charge as early as you can, and then iterate with your paying customer. I gave an example of WhatsApp sellers where from the paying customers, we're able to put money together and start something better. So how to find your first 10 paying customers? Talk to people who already feel the pain. Offer a simple, fast manual version. Price fairly but confidently. Use email, WhatsApp, and personal calls because you want to keep everything simple, right? Ask for referral after every success because referral is also a great way. When people use your product and they enjoy your product, they are able to tell the next person that, oh yes, I use this person's product, it's really lovely, and like that, people keep coming. So like referral is easily one of the best ways to find your paying customers. So quickly, just to wrap up, I'm going to tell you that the true test of a product is whether somebody is willing to pay for it. Like I said, if you don't have revenue or if your product is not making money, you're just doing an expensive hobby. You're just being creative as a person. So the test is for the product is make sure that people are willing to pay for it. People don't pay for products, they pay for outcome. And lastly, revenue is the most honest feedback you're going to receive. Once your business starts making money, that's a very great feedback that you're going to be getting from your users, your users and every other person. So thank you so much. You can ask your questions. My name is Halimah Balogun. You can connect with me on LinkedIn at Halimah Balogun, X and Instagram as well. Thank you so much.